Don Brown. Yeah. It's the mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. It's the mafia, I'm with the Buffalo Bills. It's the mafia, you know I'm rocking with the Bills. Hey, who you reppin'? What's your team? Who you reppin'? What's your team? You know I'm reppin' for my team. I got that talent on my team. Micah Hyde, Jordan Boyer, can you catch it? Trade day is like a mask, you not catching anything. Matt Milano making plays, we not scared of any team. Best in the AFC, all the praise of Brandon Bean. You hear Sean McDermott clapping while I'm snapping? Jerry Hughes will get the sack soon as you snap it. Andre Roberts running back, ain't no just backing. Mafia, we on a ride and we got traction. We got Beasley, we got Diggs. McKenzie make you miss. Dawson Knox with the stiff arm, treat opponents just like his. Feliciano, Deion Dawkins block defenders like the fence. Hey, it's the mafia. I said no one on top of us. I said no one is blocking us on top of our division, so it's clear that it's no stopping us. Google best team in the league and we popping up. Hey, who you reppin'? What's your team? Who you reppin'? What's your team? You know I'm reppin' for my team. I got the salad on my team.
I'm getting chills here. Sunday, 2 days away, less than 48 hours away from kickoff. The Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers. We've been anticipating this. We've had September 12th circled on our calendar since the schedule was announced a couple months back. Let's go. I'm hyped up. I know you are too, Bills Mafia. Big shout out to Don Brown. The music in that intro is fire. Let's go. Big news today, TJ Watt signs a 4-year mega extension worth $112 million. And you know what? Hats off to him. He's earned that. If there was any question of is he going to play against the Bills in week 1, well, that question is a long-lost memory. It can be erased now. TJ Watt will be there, and he will be a disruptor in week 1 come Sunday. 4 years, $112 million, totally worth it. Over the past 3 seasons, he's accumulated 42.5 sacks. And in the past 3 seasons, he's been a Pro Bowler every single season, and he's also been an All-Pro the last 2 years. TJ Watt is a special player. Big shout out to him. Congratulations on the contract. Let's go. Let's go. He's back. Yes, the Bills Bunker. We are back here on the Bills Bunker, and Friday night forecast. It's going to be a thing every single week that the Bills are playing. I'm going to be here every Friday talking about preview, matchups, and what's going to come ahead on Sunday. And then on weeks that it's a Thursday night game, we'll figure something out for that. We'll figure that out when it comes. But Sunday, I'll be here for a post-game show, as always, and then I'll have some reaction videos throughout the season as well. I'm hyped up about this. It's going to be a big year. It was a tough way to finish for the Buffalo Bills last year in the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs, but this team is motivated, and I really believe that this team is only getting better. Last year was just the tip of the iceberg for the Buffalo Bills. So this week 1 matchup is a bit different than years past. We've played the Jets for, the past 4 or 5 seasons in a row in week 1. You get that divisional matchup every year. Week 1, it's a divisional rival. This year, the NFL changed it up a bit, and they gave the Buffalo Bills the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's no joke. It's not an easy matchup. I think the Bills should be favored, as they are. But the Steelers are not a joke. Their defense is legit. Their offense has some question marks, and we're going to get to that later. But the Buffalo Bills have defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers in the past 2 consecutive seasons. 17-10 victory back in 2019, and that was a clinching victory for the Bills that clinched their playoff seed. They ultimately lost in the wild card to the Houston Texans that year. And then last season, they won by a score of 26-15 over the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that was at home in Buffalo. That was only the Steelers' second loss of their season. So, a lot has changed this year. A lot has changed. But last season, the Steelers finished 32nd in the entire league in rushing yards. Yes, 32nd. There's 32 teams in the NFL, so they were last in rushing yards. They had no ground game, and there's still some question marks around that this year. They did draft Najee Harris in the first round. Talented running back. They expect big things from him. But their offensive line, they don't have a single starter returning from last season on that offensive line. And that could be a big problem for them. I think they downgraded at a lot of positions on the offensive line. And you need to get that boost. You need to get that punch up. You need to get that first step, fire out as an offensive lineman, and make the blocks to clear the path for your running backs. If you want a successful ground game like the Pittsburgh Steelers do, that's what this organization was built on. Run the ball and stop the run. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers' identity is. That's what they want to do. They want to regain that identity because they're not going to be able to sling the ball downfield with Big Ben Roethlisberger. That doesn't work. Off topic, but I need to make picks for all my fantasy. Can we do each game briefly at the end? So yes, Joseph Clark, we will be doing that at the end of every Friday night forecast. I'll be going over every single game on the slate this week, and I'll give you my picks just for money line who would win. So now we have. Let's go with the players to watch for the Bills in this game. And I'm not going to do the obvious ones. It's not going to be Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. It's kind of boring. Let's change it up a bit, spice it up here. And I'm going to give you my reasoning for each one of these players. We're going to start off with Tremaine Edmonds. Yes, Tremaine Edmonds, our big linebacker. He's young, and he's a stud. Tremaine Edmonds, he has two brothers on the other sideline. Two brothers play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have Terrell and Trey Edmonds, and then Tremaine Edmonds of the Buffalo Bills. Every time you play against, I don't have any relatives, but if you were to play against a relative, I think that's a bit of an extra spark, especially on the NFL Week 1 in Buffalo. That's going to be an exciting time for the Edmonds family, and I expect Tremaine to have a big performance. I think he wants to show up the other brothers there. He wants to be the best one on the field. Emmanuel Sanders. Yes, the offseason addition to the receiving corps for the Buffalo Bills. This guy's been to 3 Super Bowls. He's won 1. And the one he won was with the Pittsburgh Steelers way back in 2010 against way back in 2010. He won that Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and no, he didn't win that Super Bowl with Pittsburgh, actually. He won the Super Bowl with Denver. He won a Super Bowl with Denver. He's been to 3 Super Bowls with 3 different teams. He's hoping to make it 4 this year in Buffalo. Emmanuel Sanders was a great addition to this team's receiving corps, and the reason I have him on Bills players to watch for Week 1 is exactly that. He's a new addition, and he's going up against a former team. That's extra spark, extra motivation going up against a team that you once played for, the team that drafted you. I think Sanders is going to have a big week against Pittsburgh if he plays, because right now he's listed as questionable. And then Levi Wallace. Levi Wallace has had interceptions in the past 2 games against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Back-to-back seasons, he's had an interception against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him do it again this year. Coach Sean McDermott did say today that Levi Wallace is his cornerback 2 for this season. He won the competition. He earned it, and it seems as if the Bills have been trying to replace Levi Wallace at that cornerback 2 position for years now, but they just haven't found anyone better. He's beat everybody that they've brought in out. He's earned that position, and he's going to look to continue to earn it in Week 1 against the Steelers. I think he's going to have another big week against them. He always seems to come up big against the Steelers. And then for the Steelers, flip to the other sideline. Their players to watch, I have TJ Watt after signing that massive contract, and it's pretty hard not to look across the other sideline and say, yeah, we need to key in on TJ Watt because he is a big disruptor. The Bills need to slow him down. You can't stop him. You just need to slow him down. And then Najee Harris. Najee Harris was drafted in the first round by the Steelers for a reason. They want to elevate their ground game. They want to take it to the next level, and he's going to have to be a big part of that. Remains to be seen how that offensive line works out. And that's a big ask for a rookie running back. So we'll see how he handles the pressure in week 1 with a loud crowd in Buffalo. You know that crowd's going to be rowdy. And then Deontay Johnson, the wide receiver, he's had the past 2 years against the Bills, he's had some pretty good numbers. Nothing too crazy, a couple 50-yard games, but I think he's a speedy receiver, and he could put up some good numbers. Watch for him on shorter routes and trying to get run after catch. And I said that earlier. Emmanuel Sanders listed as questionable. Star Lotulelei, defensive tackle Star Lotulelei, after he opted out last season. He did say he's coming back this year, but he was ruled out. So ruled out for week 1 against the Steelers. Hopefully we can get him back soon and see how much of an impact he has on that defensive front, because I really feel as if that was a big piece missing last season from the run defense, having that big body to eat up blocks from offensive linemen and free up linebackers. That really hurt their defensive line. Do you think Juju will finally be a bona fide number 1 this year? Juju Smith-Schuster, he's a good receiver, but I think he has to focus more on what he's doing on the field rather than his TikToks before the game. There's a big announcement about that. I guess he's not going to do that on the logos this year, which who cares? Still stupid, but I think he's a talented player. I don't think he's going to be the number 1 receiver on Pittsburgh. I think that will be Chase Claypool. Probably early on in the season, you'll see Chase Claypool being the heavily targeted receiver in Pittsburgh. Biggest Bills additions or departures in your opinion, and the effect on the team? Well, a departure that it hurt Bills Mafia, John Brown. That was someone who he was brought in. He was Josh's first number 1 wide receiver, and he had over 1,000 yards in his first season with the Bills. Last year, he had a down year, though. He was injured all the time. He couldn't stay on the field. And yes, it was great to have John Brown, but we cut him. We freed up some space, and we brought in Emmanuel Sanders, who I believe is an upgrade over John Brown. I hope he can stay healthy. We're seeing him listed as questionable week 1. But Emmanuel Sanders, I believe, is an upgrade at that position. And he's been to 3 Super Bowls. He's won 1. That is valuable experience in the NFL. He's a veteran. He's been doing it a really long time. So watch out for number 1, Emmanuel Sanders, this year. I think he's going to be a leader here. Who's the better coach, Mike Tomlin or Sean McDermott? That's a great question. I mean, you know what? I love Sean McDermott and everything that he has done for this Buffalo Bills organization. He's come in and he's absolutely turned things around. Winning record with this team over the past 4 seasons now. So Sean McDermott has really changed the culture in Buffalo, and he's done a lot for this team and this organization. But you look at Mike Tomlin, and it's hard to argue against Mike Tomlin. He's won a lot. He's never had a losing record in a season, and that's insane for how long Mike Tomlin's been doing it. These are both great coaches, and they both have their strengths and their weaknesses. It's really hard to say who the better coach is, but if you're looking at last season, I would have said Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott was in the running for Coach of the Year, and although Mike Tomlin, He's like just 2 years back, he had a Pittsburgh Steelers team with Big Ben that was injured, depleted roster, and he still made a push to try to get in the playoffs. He's finished with a 500 record. That was impressive. So hats off to Mike Tomlin and Sean McDermott. These are both fantastic head coaches, two of the best in the game, and it's hard. That's a hard question to answer. Now, I want to talk about the Bills' offense this uh, week. What can the Bills' offense do to penetrate this Pittsburgh defense? How can they beat Pittsburgh? What should be the offensive game plan if you're the Buffalo Bills? Brian Dable, offensive mastermind. He's still back up there calling the plays as the offensive coordinator. So that's great to know. That's great familiarity carrying on from last season and the year before that. Josh Allen, he's had this offensive coordinator throughout his entire career. That's great not to have to change it. And my offensive game plan would be do what you did last year against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you watch back to the game last year against the Steelers, it was a lot of drawing defenders underneath. You're throwing a lot of short routes, and then they attacked kind of. They didn't really get to the attack part. They were doing a lot of underneath short routes, short to medium, intermediate routes, and Josh Allen was just spreading the ball to all of his weapons because he has so many. But for this year, I'd like to see them do that same thing, but set it up so they can launch the football. Maybe run, set up play action more too. I want them to draw the defenders underneath, and then you attack them deep. Because I just want to show what was going on last season. Last season, I'm going to give you an example of what I was just talking about. Stephon Diggs in that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers last season. He had 10 receptions for 130 yards. That's really good. But he had 68 yards after catch. 68 yards after catch on 130 receiving yards. That means a lot of short to medium, intermediate routes, and he's just running after the catch. Like this play right here. I'm going to show you an example.
Pass or something, get Pittsburgh's pressure. Here's Allen throwing, man down. Diggs got it inside the 10. Diggs to the goal line and in for the Buffalo touchdown.
The Buffalo Bills have a route running specialist, the best route runner in the entire league, Stephon Diggs. He can, his curl route it's fun to watch. It's a thing of beauty. You utilize that against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then maybe you turn that into a go route later on into the game, maybe at some point in the second or third quarter. Catch the Steelers by surprise. And you also utilize Dawson Knox, tight end. The tight ends against the Pittsburgh Steelers in games that Buffalo and Pittsburgh have played the past two seasons, they've been pretty effective. You remember back to that Tyler Kroft touchdown that actually won the game for the Bills a couple years back. You have Cole Beasley. Use Cole Beasley. He is an amazing weapon out of the slot. Utilize Emmanuel Sanders and Gabe Davis. And then don't be afraid to run the ball either. I want to see what Devin Singletary is made of this year. He bulked up this offseason, and I'm excited to see it. Zach Moss, after being out with that ankle injury in the playoffs last year, missing out on the AFC Championship game, you know he's hungry and he's motivated. He wants to have a big year this year. Emmanuel Sanders' status, he is listed as questionable right now. Listed as questionable for Sunday's game. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully he gets in there. I think that's a big plus, though. I think that's what the Bills should be doing here offensively, though. So the 10 yards, you have first and 10. Don't go for 10 yards right away. Yeah, you try to get a 5-yard play and then run after the catch and get a first down. You draw them in. You draw defenders in so you can attack deep later in the game. That's reverse psychology right there. So the point spread for this game is set at Bills minus 6.5. So they have to win by a touchdown or more. Will they cover? Will they not cover? That's a big ask to cover because Pittsburgh's defense is really good. Big Ben, he's not easy to take down. I want to know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Are the Bills going to cover this? I'm hesitantly going to say yes. And I'm saying yes because I'm looking at the Pittsburgh offense, and I think that this offense is going to struggle at times this year. They last year they're doing well, and then towards the end of the season they kind of fell off a bit. They have no ground game last year. Najee Harris, the rookie, we'll see what he's capable of, but asking him to attack the Bills offense in week 1 is a big ask for a rookie, especially on the road. And then their offensive line, question marks. They all new starters. Not one single returning starter from the Steelers offensive line last year. So I'm going to say yes, the Bills will cover because I don't think that Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers can match the Bills offensively. Matter of fact, I know they can't. They can't match the Buffalo Bills offensively. They don't have the star power to do it. Their only way of winning this game is to make it a slugfest and to win defensive football. They have to create turnovers and generate turnovers, generate offense with their defense if the Steelers want to win this game. I'm going to say the Bills cover the spread. So week 1, player stat predictions. I've got a couple stat predictions here. I have, first of all, Ed Oliver, Big Ed. I think that he is due for a breakout season this year. He's going into his 3rd NFL season, and I hope he has a breakout campaign this year. We saw him without Star Latulia last year, struggled at times, but he's shown flashes throughout his career, but that's not enough. We need Ed Oliver, our former 1st-round pick, to be more consistent. We need him to be a dog at that defensive tackle position. We need him to be a disruptor. We need him to stop the run. I have him going for 1.5 sacks and a tackle for a loss. So if he can do that, I think that would be a great way to start his season and really gain momentum going forward. I also believe that Josh Allen will have a rushing touchdown in this game. Josh Allen's going to rush for a touchdown. And then score prediction. Yeah, I've got Bills 27, Steelers 17. The Steelers 17 points. I don't see them scoring 20 points in this game. I don't see it. The Buffalo Bills defense, it might be getting back to where it was a couple years ago. If the defensive line can step it up a notch this season, which I expect them to, with the additions of Gregory Rousseau and Carlos Basham in the draft, then this team defensively is going to be impeccable, and this team's going to be a nightmare to play against because if their defense steps it up and their offense is even close to what they were last year, this team's going to the Super Bowl. That's what's going to happen. If the Bills defense can get close to what it was back in 2019, if the Bills defense can step up and be better than it was last year, this team's going places, going far, because you can't outscore. It's really hard to outscore the Bills because they score so many points. And if their defense is stellar, then you can't score points on them either. You're really going to have a tough time. Joseph Clark says 40-12 for the Bills. I love that. I love that. That'd be wicked. That'd be wicked. That'd be a great start to the season, wouldn't it? Uh, that Cowboys Buccaneers game last night. That was an entertaining start to the season. I mean, you had that feeling in the fourth quarter that it didn't matter what the Cowboys did. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers were going to win that game, is what it felt like. It felt, you just had that vibe that Brady was going to do that again. And I feel like I knew that was coming. So let's go over the slate of games for the NFL Week 1 here, and we'll pick our winners. We'll pick who we believe will win each game. I have my score prediction 27-17 for Buffalo in this game. Drop your score prediction in the comment section as well. We saw Joseph Clark with a 40-12. I like that. That's awesome. Next, let's do Eagles-Falcons. And I'm not going to do score predictions for this. I'll just say who I believe to win. This is going to be an interesting one here. Eagles-Falcons. These are some young teams here. Obviously, not thinking about Matt Ryan or Zach Ertz, but thinking about the pieces around these guys. Kyle Pitts. I think he has potential to be a special player. And he was a hot commodity in fantasy drafts. He fell a bit in a lot of drafts, but that's because of the history of rookie tight ends. They don't usually take off and have massive production. For this game, I think I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm going to take Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, and the Eagles to win in Atlanta Week 1. Second game on the schedule, Jets at Panthers. I'm excited for this game. If the Bills and Steelers weren't playing, this might be the game that I watch out of all the games. And I'm excited for this game because I want to see what Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson do to their former team in New Jersey. The New Jersey Jets. They play in New York. Panthers are going to annihilate the Jets, I think. I think Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson are going to put on a show against their former team. Joseph Clark, he's got the Panthers. He's got the Falcons. Next, we have Chargers Washington. This is a really good game, actually, too. Chargers and Washington. You have Justin Herbert, one of the league's most exciting young quarterbacks, rookie of the year last year, against Washington, who has a great defense. They added Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback this year, an upgrade from what they had last season. Dang, that's a tough one. I think I'm going to take Washington. I'm going to take Washington to win this game. I really like Justin Herbert, and I like the Chargers. They have a lot of talent on their team, but the Washington defense, I think, will be too much for them. And if Ryan Fitzpatrick can have competent quarterback play, aided by Antonio Gibson in the backfield, Terry McLaurin, and Curtis Samuel as receivers, I think Washington will take this game. Chargers, and Herbert dominates. That's interesting. Herbert dominates the Washington defense. I wouldn't be surprised by it. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised by it because Justin Herbert is a special talent. But I'm gonna stick with the Washington football team on that one. 49ers at Lions. Sorry, Detroit fans, but it's going to be the 49ers, I think. Seahawks at Colts. That's a good game, too. Colts, I believe Carson Wentz is expected to play. I'm not certain on that, but I'm going to take the Seahawks anyways. I'm going to take Seattle, Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, that offense. I think they'll win that game. Minnesota Vikings, Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting matchup. I think I'm gonna take the Vikings to win that game. Joe Burrow's exciting. He's surrounded by some familiar weapons there. He's got T. Higgins. He's got Jamar Chase. But I think Minnesota takes this one. The Jaguars at the Texans. That'll be a fun game to watch. Not really though. I think that game will get a lot of viewers because of Trevor Lawrence, the first overall pick. Anytime you have that, that's gonna gain attraction. That's gonna attract more people to your team and your franchise, no matter who you are. The Texans, they're bad. They're bad. Like, they're not even an NFL team. They might not win a game this year. The Houston Texans are bad, and I haven't even seen them play this year. They're horrible. I'm going to take the Jaguars. Cardinals at Titans. Okay. The Arizona Cardinals. Interesting team. You added A.J. Green. You added J.J. Watt. This team is old in Arizona, but they have an exciting young quarterback in Kyler Murray. And I believe that they are an emerging team. They were better last season. They were getting close to the playoffs. They were in the playoff race, but they didn't quite make it. Tough ending of the season for the Cardinals last year. We all remember what they did to us in Buffalo. Titans, they added Julio Jones. Derrick Henry is a beast in that backfield. That offense is going to be it's going to present nightmare matchups for opposing teams' defensive coordinators. I'm going to take the Titans in this one. It's in Tennessee. I think the Titans have the advantage there. Miami Dolphins at New England Patriots. Okay. The Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, two AFC East rivals facing off. And Miami pulls off a lot of miracles against the Patriots, and weird stuff happens when these two teams meet. I'm going to take New England in this game, though. I think Mac Jones, he's going to get the better of Tua Tagovailoa. In week one, Mac Jones will be the better quarterback. And it's going to be interesting to see how that kid plays in his first game in the NFL, because Bill Belichick, he must believe in him a lot. He has a lot of faith in Mac Jones if he was willing to draft him in the first round, and he was willing to get rid of Cam Newton. So I'm going to take the Patriots over the Dolphins in this game. I think it'll be a close game, though. I think that's going to be a bit of a slugfest there. It's definitely not going to be a shootout. Broncos at Giants. Interesting game here. I don't like either team's quarterback situation at all. Drew Lock and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones can be decent this year. The Giants will have an opportunity to compete in the NFC East. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I don't think the Broncos are going anywhere in that AFC West division with the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Raiders. The Broncos aren't going anywhere either. I'll take the Giants in this game. Packers at Saints, and it's not really at Saints because this game is going to be played in Jacksonville. This game is being played in Jacksonville because of the hurricane right now. So no game in New Orleans, and that's putting them at even more of a disadvantage going up against the reigning MVP. I think with all that drama that was going on this offseason, Aaron Rodgers is going to come back even more motivated. He's going to put on a show in week one in Jacksonville against the Saints. I don't think the Saints really stand much of a chance in this game. Is Jameis Winston all of a sudden some superstar quarterback? Not that I know of. Maybe grooming him behind Drew Brees for a year helped him in his future, but I don't think that Jameis Winston is going to be a superstar quarterback because he's in a better situation with the Saints now. I don't see that happening. I'm going to take the Packers over the Saints, and I don't really think that'll be a very close game either. I think the point spread for that is minus 3.5 for the Packers And if I was a betting man, I'd take the Packers there. I'd go with the Packers to cover that spread for sure. Let's get to some comments here. Giants, Packers, Vikings, Seattle. Okay, so I think Joseph Clark and I are on the same page here. Browns and Chiefs, a rematch of the AFC divisional game last year. Okay, Browns, Chiefs. Who you got? I got the Chiefs. Let's not overthink it. I know the Browns challenged the Chiefs last year. They're a good team. But I can't go against the Chiefs. Can't pick against the Chiefs right now. It's going to be Kansas City week 1. Chiefs. Yeah, it's hard to pick against them right now, isn't it? Bears at Rams, Sunday Night Football. That's going to be an exciting one. It's going to be an exciting one. And when I think of this game, I think, maybe the Bears have a chance. Maybe I'll take them as the underdog pick. And then I remember Matthew Stafford's the quarterback in Los Angeles now. And it's Andy Dalton or Justin Fields in Chicago right now. So you have a rookie and a veteran who hasn't done much against Matthew Stafford, who he's been in a horrible situation his entire career, and he's finally getting an opportunity in LA. He's going to showcase that on Sunday Night Football, and he's going to defeat the Chicago Bears, who he has played against a number of times in his career. I think Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams, they take this game in week 1 for sure. Rams, Stafford's going to show the world how good he can be. And yeah, I mean, Matthew Stafford's another one of those guys who doesn't get enough praise or credit from the national media. Matthew Stafford has been a victim of circumstances throughout his career, playing in Detroit, not getting any nationally televised games really, never being the center of attention. He's never really gotten that benefit. So going to LA, of all places, that's a great place for him to go, get a chance to be a star, and get a chance to compete on a competitive team who's all in. The Rams are all in. And if you look at their draft picks in the future, they really don't have much. They don't have much young talent either. This team's all in on this season. They've been all in for the past 4 or 5 years now. The Rams, their Super Bowl window is closing sooner than you think. So they're getting desperate and they need to win now in LA. And then Ravens at Raiders. Ravens at Raiders. Okay, Monday Night Football, Ravens at Raiders. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. The Baltimore Ravens receiving core is really depleted with injuries right now. The Raiders at home, I think I'm going to take Vegas as I think Vegas would be the underdog in this game, and I'm going to take Vegas to win this game as well. I think that they'll come out firing week 1, and there'll be too much to handle for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. That might be a silly pick, but I'm going to take the Raiders here. Now, before we head off here, if you haven't already, please make sure you smash the like button and hit the notification bell. But did you see that Josh Allen's jersey is the most popular jersey in the NFL since August 1st this year? That's amazing to me. Josh Allen, someone who plays in Buffalo, has the top selling jersey in the NFL right now. In Buffalo. He's not playing in Los Angeles or Chicago or one of these big giant he's not playing in one of these big center of attention national media places. He's playing in Buffalo, a place that doesn't really get much national attention. And Josh Allen, this just goes to show how much of a likable guy he is and how much of a superstar he really is in the NFL. People are starting to recognize Josh Allen as a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. People are starting to realize that. And that feels great as a fan. I can imagine how he feels. As a fan, it feels amazing to know that we have Josh Allen on our team. And Josh Allen has the highest selling jersey in the NFL right now. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. If you would have told me like 5 to 10 years ago that the Bills will have the quarterback with the highest sold jersey in the NFL, I would have told you you're crazy. I would have laughed in your face. But now, that's the scenario, and that's awesome. Josh Allen is a franchise quarterback, and it's great to have him here. So if you haven't already, please make sure you smash the like button, hit the notification bell. I'll be here doing these Friday night forecast previews every week before Sunday games. I'll be here for post-game shows. I'll have some reactions, probably read some stupid comments. I know you guys like those as well. I'll have a lot of content coming out on this channel this season. I'm excited for the season to get going. It's been a long summer without football. I hope you enjoyed your summer. I did, but I've missed football, and I'm happy fall's coming. Let's go. It's almost that season. Whew. Thank you for all of you who stayed through this entire time. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hope to see you again on the Bills Bunker soon. Until next time, I'm your guy, Jake. Thank you.